Live from the Fireplace Center Sports Studio, SWX on Color 8 starts right now.
He helped us all develop a lifelong love of running.
A lifelong love and legacy in Montana running. Tonight we'll meet the local man behind bringing more opportunities and athletes to our state. Hey friends, and happy sunny Sunday. Before I introduce you to the man who just keeps running, let's take you out to the ball game where we're going to find Billings Scarlets wrapping up their series against Gillette Rough Riders in Dealer Park. And umbrellas protect fans from both the sun and foul balls. Good call, guys. Team's tied at 3 in the 4th. Andy Larson with this connection to center field. It's a sacrifice fly, but guess what? That'll bring in Ben Tallman. Scarlets take a 4-3 lead as he crosses the home plate in the bottom of the 4th. And 6th inning was a game changer. Here's Mason Powell finding the hole in right field. That's going to bring in 2 Rough Rider runners. Wyoming scores 6 in the 6th, and that's going to put them up 9-4. 7th inning, it's Colby Kimmett sends one to right field, and Scarlets are hungry to score here in their final effort to score 7 in 1 inning. They're going to run in 2 off of Kimmett's hit. Scarlets not giving up on this competition, and then we'll find Taylor Musgrove at the plate with an RBI. That's going to bring Kimmett into the home plate, but Rough Riders seal this one with a strikeout and walk away with the win. Scarlets lose this one 10-7. Rough Riders then playing their next game against the Royals, and could this be the Royals' unofficial mascot? Everyone meet Jackie. He's a good boy. Strong start for the visiting team. Mason Powell again here drops one into left field, and that's going to bring in 2 runs for Rough Riders, now leading by those scores. Later, it's Hunter Silt at the plate for the Rough Riders, and he'll send this one almost out of the park. Well, it's going to be out of the hands of Royals, and that's going to bring in another 2 for Gillette. They're going to go up 4-0 in the first, showing no symptoms of 2 consecutive games in the heat. Blue at bat next. Royals' Sam Evanson pops one up. He's going to work the foot pedals and take advantage of greasy gloves to make it a double. And guess what? His teammate Jarrett Leanwan hit a homer for Royals in this inning, but doggone it, we had to rush back for the Color 8 News at 5, so we can tell you that Royals came out on top of this one, 17-11. And here at SWX, we recognize a lot of hardworking athletes, and behind these players of Montana sports are the hands of coaches guiding and pushing them to success. Tonight, we recognize one man behind building running programs in our state and the legacy he leaves behind as he enters retirement. Behind the motivation of hundreds of athletes,
I didn't really know if I wanted to run in college.
Beneath the sound of thousands of feet crossing the finish line.
All of us in the running community have been influenced a lot by Dave.
One man inspires runners across Montana.
It was something I never really thought about getting paid for. It was just, I just did it because it was just a lot of fun.
Dave Kopic discovered a passion for running young and followed it all the way to competing for the University of Montana. In 1989, at the age of 33, Kopic helped create more opportunities for more runners to compete in Montana by helping start the cross-country program at then Eastern Montana College.
Was called upon to help start it, and the next year they said, yeah, you might as well stay, and then next thing I knew, I was head coach. It gave everyone an opportunity to maybe find another place they could compete in college athletics and in-state.
Later creating even more running opportunities by reintroducing a track and field program at MSUB in 2007.
Adding track and field, that was an accomplishment just to get that started, because we didn't know what was going to happen. And within a few years, we were starting to get some national qualifiers. And I think probably one of our best accomplishments was getting 8 individual qualifiers for the NCAA championships in the last 4 years.
Putting his heart and body into the program.
He's been running for however many years, and we go out there every day and put in a bunch of miles, and he's right there too.
Kopic's accomplishments and those of the runners he influenced perhaps runs the longest of all.
He helped us all develop a lifelong love of running. I don't know anyone who left his program feeling burnt out or wanting to give up on the sport. It was exactly the opposite. Sad that our time was over, and how could we keep that going?
While the local legacy now enters retirement, he'll still have hands, feet in Montana's running programs.
Pretty slow, but I'll be out there, giving it the old college try.
Melinda Lee, SWX Montana. Oh, and look, here, I'm back again. Just keep running, just keep running. Very best to Dave in his retirement. That's a look at sports, but we've got more coming up after the break. And welcome back, friends. In sports tonight, we're going to turn the camera on you, the fans. I hope you join us as we get to know more of the community backing our local teams. We're going to introduce you to two super fans who've been cheering on the Mustangs for more than 60 years. You're going to love these ladies. And you're also going to meet one woman who spent the last 11 years hosting minor league players over the summer season. She's going to share how these more than 50 athletes became part of the family.
Live from the Fireplace Center Sports Studio, SWX on Color 8 starts right now.
I've had season tickets since box seats in the old one since '82.
These local ladies have been cheering on the Mustangs for more than 60 years now. Hey friends, and welcome back to the SWX studio. We're going to meet those super fans in a moment. First, let's check out the team they were rooting for tonight. Game 3 between our Mustangs and the Missoula Osprey, and we can all try out our arm on the concourse. Top of the first is where we'll start. Here's Andy Sugilo with the connection going. Guess what, folks? That's a solo home run. Mustangs go up 1-0. Bottom of the fourth now, Mustangs up 2-0. Leandro Santana, solo shot. Guess what? That's going to make it 3-0 for the home team. Billings starting hot. Same inning, Santana. Single up the middle, and look, just out of the reach of the defender, Jake Turnbull works the foot pedals and slides into third. That'll set him up nicely. Next batter, Satchel McElroy, doubles to left field, scoring Turnbull. That'll make it 4-0 as he crosses the home plate. Ospreys score late, but Mustangs are on top of this one. Final score 8-2 to give our home team the 1-win advantage in the series. And players on the Mustangs roster come to Billings from all over the country, even outside of the U.S. I met with one woman who hosts these athletes during the season and shares the reward of her growing family. Within this wooden chest, Rita Carr G. Banks stores 11 years of memories of her time hosting local minor league baseball players.
My most recent addition is my glove that I got last year, and it is Andy Cox's college glove.
She says these athletes enter her home as guests and leave as family.
We've had, I think, close to 50 different players living with us. We've hosted guys from the Dominican Republic, from Canada, from New York, from Florida, from Texas, from California. So we've got friends. We can actually say we have family all around the United States and across the globe. The biggest reward is just their gratefulness and learning a little piece of somebody that you're going to see out on the field. It brings us onto the field. One of the coolest things about it too is when you watch them go on and they become players for the Reds, and I get to brag that, oh, that player told me that my pancakes made him jump higher, so now everybody gets pancakes. It's kind of superstitious in our house now, so it's really cool to know that they have memories of their time that they spent here.
Pancakes help us all jump higher, right? That's why we eat them. Rita says she first learned about the opportunity to host minor league players from a stadium announcement. Now we're announcing that if hosting Mustangs for the summer interests you, you can call the Mustangs main line and coordinate with the team to do so. And our Mustangs are lucky to have these two super fans cheering them on for more than 6 decades.
When did you guys become Mustangs fans?
Well, in the 50s, because we lived right over on 32nd, and Rita used to listen, and I come to them, she listened in the 50s, and I've had season tickets since box seats in the old one since '82. Well, it's getting better and better every year, and they're such a neat team.
So Ruth and Rita started listening to Mustangs games over the radio in the 50s, and they're still at it more than 60 years later. Catch them in seats 6 and 7 out there at Dealer Park. And very rarely, if ever, do you see 3 sisters play or commit to play Division I college basketball. But that happens to be the case with Fairfield's Molly, Lizzie, and Natalie Klinker. SWX Montana's Kurt Schroeder found that the sisters' rise to stardom has been in the works since each of them first picked up a basketball.
A 120-game winning streak.
The big sports story today is a big decision from one of our area's most recruited prep players. We're talking Billings Seniors standout Gabe Sulcer announcing via this tweet he's going Grizz. And we could spend our entire sportscast listing Sulcer's stats that show what a great game this is for Montana. As a junior, Sulcer scored 24 touchdowns, helping lead the Broncs to their first Class AA state title in nearly 4 decades. And with plenty of eyes on this prize receiver, Sulcer says Montana State also came knocking. By choosing Montana, he follows family footsteps to Missoula. But while Gabe's parents and sister went to UM, Sulcer says this decision was his own.
I've always had a great feeling about Montana. So I guess in a way it's always been there. But I think these last few weeks for sure, I was just like, this is what I want to do. It felt so right. Every time I get to Missoula, I just kind of get a gut feeling that this is home and this is the right decision for me. So I thought, today at this, I thought I'd just pull the trigger and kind of be able to move on and go into the high school season without worrying about all the recruiting stuff.
Big congrats to Gabe Sulcer. He comes from a family that certainly isn't lacking in Grizz pride or athleticism. We're going to shift now to a different athlete and one high-intensity fitness program she credits for changing her life. When she's not juggling patients as a nurse and raising her children, Hope Cicero spends her time here. CrossFit Billings, pushing her body to perform exercise elements from several sports.
Growing up, I hated my big thighs, and now I've learned to appreciate these big, strong thighs that can lift some weight.
Cicero says her fitness journey began with a decision to casually try CrossFit.
After I had kids, I met up with a friend, and we were doing some workouts in her garage, and she had this thing called CrossFit, and it was tons of fun. So then it got way more competitive, and you're competing against yourself.
Flash forward to now, as Cicero works to not only compete against herself, but others at a regional level.
My goal would definitely be to make it to the games. So the games used to be in California. They are moved to Madison, Wisconsin. Every day you're going to come in and there's going to be something that you need to work on, and so there's always a constant push.
And this Wonder Woman adds that CrossFit invites everyone to transform their body and their life.
From this little girl right behind me, the 6-year-old, all the way to 80, 85, everybody can be doing a little something in CrossFit. That's what's so great about this sport.
And while Hope is transforming her body, we'll now share how one college is transforming their athletic facility. Carroll College just replaced the original gym floor inside the PE Center that was put in 47 years ago. But as SWX Montana's Kimson Cross found out, this court has seen its fair share of wear and tear.
This new floor is certainly impressive, but one thing that will never be forgotten about the old one, in Helena, Kimson Cross, SWX Montana.
Thank you, Kimson. We're looking forward to bringing you the athletic competitions that take place on that court. Well, the 32nd annual Big Sky State Games get underway tomorrow night with opening ceremonies at Dallas Stadium. And that brings us to this week's Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday on Color 8 is brought to you by Ortho Montana.
And throwing it back this Thursday, Tom Osborne's vision became reality back in 1986 with the first ever State Games Festival. That first year featured 3,300 athletes competing in 12 different sports. The numbers now have swelled to over 10,000 athletes in 35 different sports. Torchlighter in year one, Billings' own Julie Brown here competed in the marathon at the 1984 Summer Olympic Games in LA. Humble beginnings for the State Games to what it is today, the largest per capita State Games festival in the nation. And that's this week's edition of Throwback Thursday. Well, folks, we're getting ready to head out to Dealer Park, where we hope to see some of you tonight. Plenty of sunshine as our Mustangs continue a home series against the Rockies. They dropped the first one 12-7, looking for some vengeance tonight. First pitch of this one going out just after 7. We're going to have your look at that sports story at 10, and maybe we'll even get some of our Color 8 team to try CrossFit, since Hope says it's a little bit for everybody. Stay with us because we've got more coming up for you right after the break.
Live from the Fireplace Center Sports Studio, SWX on Color 8 starts right now.
Watch this. Come on, help him, help him, help him.
You've heard the phrase Christmas in July, and in the world of professional rodeo, they call it Cowboy Christmas. Hey friends, and welcome back. Before we get a little dirt on our boots at the rodeo, we're going to take you to Dealer Park because that's where we zip into our Mustangs hosting Grand Junction tonight. We'll start at the top of the second. Grand Junction up 1 when Shale Mendoza hits this solo homer to right. And folks, that's going to bring Rockies up 4-2. How about a top of the third? Grand Junction staying hot. This time it's Casey Golden with the 2-run homer to left. Rockies now leading 6-2. Top of the fourth, it's Golden again, this time with the RBI triple to right center. Rockies are going to extend their lead on that one, 8-2. We'll go now to the bottom of the fourth and find Billings, bases loaded. Miles Gordon hits the bases clearing double to left center. Mustangs pull within 2, but that is as close as they would get. Grand Junction's Alan Trejo adds an insurance run. Rocky takes this one 12-7. Both teams back in Dealer tomorrow, though, so let's catch Game 2 of the series. Hope you join us then. And during the season, our athletes compete for a trip to the big dance. In the world of professional bull riding, that's the national finals in December. As for getting there, well, SWX Montana's Chris Byers brings us Cowboy Christmas.
Watch this. Come on, help him, help him, help him.
33 rodeos in a single week. Chris Byers, SWX Montana.
Thank you, Chris. And of course, stay with SWX for all your Cowboy Christmas coverage. On another note, we're only 3 days away from the 71st Montana East-West Shrine Game. The annual battle between the top football talent blends all 4 classes in every corner of the state in the East-West battle. But did you know that it also blends 2 different countries? Each year, the top talent in Montana plays to raise money for the Shriners Hospital, but this one also includes a pair of Canada's best. These players cross the border to play in the annual game. The 2 who represent our neighbors up north are both out of Calgary. We're talking about Tyler Packer for Team West and Logan Brandy for Team East, both playing with a brand new group of players who they've never heard of or met, but seemingly are fitting in perfectly with their new squads.
I literally know nobody except for the other Canadians, so coming down here to play in this big of a game against people I've never seen before, it's quite an opportunity. Some of these guys will be friends for life, right? You just meet new people in a new place, and it's a completely different culture, so honestly it's quite a humbling experience to come down here and meet all these guys for sure.